Well, a fine good afternoon, everyone. This is Patricia, and I am traveling for history. This is part 2 of my walk of the Sheldon Poor Farm Cemetery in Sheldon, Vermont. Yep, that is quite a haul from where I live, especially since I am in the middle of practically nowhere, although there is a trailer mobile home across the street from here, which I don't want to film. So these folks, it wasn't clear where exactly the Poor Farm was. It's across the street from where they're buried, but I'm not sure they mean across the street that way or across the street this way. So that's not clear to me. But the Poor Farm itself is no longer standing. But what we have here is, I think, 324 or 327 people buried. I wonder if some of them are missing headstones, but we can see that they're pretty uniform in size, shape, and even color at this point. It reminds me a little bit of a military cemetery, to be honest. What's a poor farm, you're wondering? Well, in Vermont anyway, this was actually nationwide, but certainly in Vermont, each town, village, city was responsible for its own poor. It wasn't a federal thing. It was each town's duty to care for its poor. So, if you were poor or disabled, had disabilities, or and you didn't have enough money to pay for yourself or your family, what have you, then you were shipped off to the poor farm, which meant if you were able-bodied enough to work, you were working that poor farm. If you weren't well enough to work, say you were elderly, for instance, then you could just live there. But it was a hard life. So there were transient workers and others who were permanent. The transient ones would stay for a season or two and move on, hoping for better prospects elsewhere. And others who were permanent, just like what that sounds, they were going to stay until they died. This cemetery is also known as the Sheldon Home Association Cemetery, and if you plug that into Google Maps, it does know it, but it won't get you there. It'll say, you have arrived, and you look around thinking, but it's just dense woods. Yeah, no. What you want to do is when it tells you you have arrived, you'll be on Poor Farm Road. Keep going, and then there's a bend in the road. You want to take that bend to the right, and it'll be a little bit down the road, but not too far. It'll be on your right-hand side, and you can park outside of it. You can't park in it. Yeah, you don't want to park in it, but you can certainly park outside of it. This is what's this person's name? Abner? Maybe it's Abner. Clapper, 1875 to 1895. Ooh, 19 or 20 years old. So young. Wow, so young. We can see a lot of these headstones are not readable. The good news is, though, they can be cleaned. The bad news is, does anyone care for this place? I really couldn't tell you. I hope so. I firmly believe people should be remembered. That one is essentially unreadable to me, but Maybe to you. And I do apologize. I know I'm sniffling quite a bit. It's quite cold. There's wind, not blowing thankfully right now, but there is wind. Northwest wind. Oh. In 2 days though, this is Tuesday. On Thursday, it's supposed to be 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 60. Oh. Which is good because right now I think it's, well, high today was supposed to be 32 Fahrenheit, which is equal to 0 degrees Celsius, with a 10 to 20 mile per hour northwest wind. It just cuts right through me. Now there's a beautiful tree. I mean, how old is this tree? Can you imagine the stories this tree could tell if it could talk? And I have no idea what kind of tree it is. Do you? It's just so thick. That's a big diameter. And we can see lots of branches down over here. Ooh, I see some real names over here. Let's go over here. The farthest edge of this area of the cemetery. I don't want to trip. That would not make my day complete. On the outside though, I'm wearing my down jacket and I got the zipper to work again. Yay. Alrighty, Walter Town Clock, 1911 to 1952. That's such an interesting last name. Wow. I've never heard that kind of name. Wonder if an ancestor built the town clock or cleaned the town clock, or who knows? Lived in the town that had a town clock. Henry Martin, 1888, 1952. Frank Tarbox, 1869, 1952. I think they're arranged by death date here. They're buried that way. That first row I was in part 1, that was 1936, I think. William Warren, 1879, 1952. Frank Coburn, 1869, 1946. So, the poor farms in Vermont started to close down. The Social Security Act of 1936 was the beginning of the end for poor farms and poor houses. The last one to close in Vermont closed in 1968, and that was this one here in Sheldon, Vermont. See, Stephen Jones, 1862, 1949. Wilfred Bordeaux. No dates. Could be under the snow. And I'm guessing the cross means he was Catholic. But you can let me know if you know. And you let me know in the comments below. Leonard Church, 1889, 1949. As I said in part 1, I like to say their names. Puts them on people's minds. Or in people's minds. And that adage of you're not really dead if you're on someone's mind. Or you're not really forgotten, rather. You are dead still, but you're not really forgotten if you're on someone's mind. Vern Kennison, 1882-1950. Arthur Moffat, 1866-1950. And the last one here, Charles Hakey, 1855-1948. So although I am offering information from my memory, so I don't have the paperwork with me, the material I'm quoting, at least partially, in the description below, but all of it will be on my website, travelingforhistory.com or travelingforhistory.org. Either one will get you there. I cannot really get close enough to see this one. I see there's a name there, I can't read it from my angle. There is a pretty hefty piece of stuck branch to the ground. These names are really not readable here in this row. Let's go another row over. Acorn tops. These names are not readable either. Huh. Well, there's a veteran over here. Let's go see the veteran. Read their names. Oh. Christina. Christina. I don't know what that is. Provost? Prevost? I cannot make that out. Well, let's take a look, see. Is this a veteran? Is this another one for the American Legion? American Legion. This is a bigger headstone than the others. I don't know where the caregivers are buried. But if you know, let us all know in the comments below. I walked that first road, part one. Then made it down back, way down back over there. Oh, here we go. Here are a couple of names in the back row. Or not the back row. This row over here. Looks like Butch John, 1848-1904. Looks like Butch. I wonder if it's Dutch. And I cannot quite make out this name either. Muller might be the last name. Is that 1797 to 1904? Could that be possible? There'd be 100. There'd be 100. What's that? What is that? That'd be pretty old. Help me with the math, would you please? 1829, 1904, Kate Rivers. Now this one almost looks like it's been cleaned. It's the cleanest one here, that's for sure. And it's pretty remarkable. Ooh, look at that, like tree stuff right over here. Good Lord. That's gnarly. I don't want to walk through that. Oh, it's after 6. Holy cow. PM. Sunset is around 7. Huh. I can't read their names. This is Chester. I have no idea. This person back here, Abby Unbert. I think that's Unbert. 1874 to 1913, perhaps. Now that tree is leaning precariously. That's not good. I want a tree to be leaning over headstones. I see a more elaborate headstone over here. Let's go take a look and see at this one. Oop, I see another readable. Dewey Smith, 1905 to 1906. A child. I am so sorry. Parents should not have been burying their children. I say that a lot. Now, as it stands, I cannot read this. But maybe if I study the photograph later, I'll make it out. The person died in 1902, age 22 years. Can't read the number, maybe 9 months and 18 days. I wonder if this is a member of the caregiver family. Huh. Since the stone is so much bigger and is more elaborate with what it says. I'm guessing Almeda Baker, 1832 to, I don't even know what that says. Hannah Rouse, 1830 to 1902. None of these people thought their lives would end up at a poor farm. I can't imagine any one of them thought that. And yet, here they are, buried at the Sheldon Poor Farm Cemetery in Sheldon, Vermont. Ooh, 5 months old for this one. Good Lord. Another baby. April 2. April 20. Died April 20, 1917, age 5 months. And it says something, but I can't quite make it out. And here we have Harriet Whitehead, 1835 to 1915. Wow, 79 or 80. Holy cow. Alrighty, well, this is Patricia and I am traveling for history. And this is the end of part 2 of my walk of the Sheldon Poor Farm Cemetery in Sheldon, Vermont, where all these folks buried here had lived and highly likely worked on the poor farm that is no longer standing here in Sheldon. May you all rest in peace. If you like my content, I would ask that you subscribe to my channel. Today is March 29, 2022. I still upload every day of the week, and I'd love it if you would subscribe. You can also follow me on all the social media, Facebook and Instagram, Traveling for History, Twitter, Traveling for HI, number 1. It's the number 1. You don't have to write number 1. My website, travelingforhistory.com or travelingforhistory.org. Either one will get you here. Will get you there. And I'm on my phone pretty regularly, so if you contact me, I do respond. Of course, there's always YouTube comments, sharing the video, all that good stuff. I would really appreciate that too. All right. Well, hopefully you are in a warmer place than I am right now. And until we meet again, you have a fabulous night. Thanks so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Bye.